there was just stuff trying to happen, and you're like, why?
His eyes were so red. I was like, dude, he's blazing it.
They were like...
Because I'm like, oh, what is the point of this then? It just feels like...
I'm frustrated with this movie. There was nothing.
Hello, fellow cave dwellers, and welcome back to Beyond the Cave. We are your hosts.
Wait, I say that. Whatever, it's fine. Keep going.
We are your hosts, Olivia Devine.
I'm Grimace
Smith. Grimace Smith. It's
me.
not as funny this time because there was a couple minutes where Patrick's mic was turned off.
No,
so...
I know. We saw If
Welcome
today.
back times two.
And I mean, I just need to go out straight up and say that I'm frustrated with this movie. To just start this off.
Internally frustrated. That's what IF stands for.
Internally. Wow.
Internal frustration.
That is good.
Thank you. What does IF actually mean?
Imaginary friend. Now, who stars?
What? That's also the second time I made that joke to him.
Who stars in this movie, Liv?
So, oh my gosh, I keep hitting the mic with my chin. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited.
At least you had a mic.
And it's okay. I lost something once. Should have a very prominent chin, which is everywhere jealous. Okay, so this is the new kids movie, which we will get into. I guess starring, written and directed by John Krasinski. Follows a young girl named Bee, who is played by Kaylee Fleming, and she teams up with her neighbor Cal, who is played by Ryan Reynolds. And we have some thoughts about this one. What are your initial thoughts?
This movie was trying way too hard to get as many sentimental, heartwarming moments as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no payoff in those moments, so they fell flat almost every single time.
Yeah.
That would be my general thing. It missed the mark.
It was lackluster. That's a word that kept coming to my mind.
I like that.
It was lacking luster.
And I just want to say too, before we dive into this, and you're going to get to the reviews. We're going to get our final ratings and all that in a while.
We're coming in.
Thing I need to preface is that although this is a children's movie and it maybe wasn't targeted towards us, we still enjoy children's movies. We see a lot of children's movies.
Oh yeah, this is important. This is going to be relevant. I think this notion is going to be a relevant thread throughout this entire discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, this was not for me and I didn't like this. I think there's a lot of kids movies that can be for anyone.
I actually prefer children's movies more often than not.
You love Disney.
Oh yeah, on snow days. Why would I ever watch an adult movie on snow days? Never.
Yeah.
Never.
So where do we start?
Where do we even start for the second time here, Patrick?
Okay. I want to talk actually first about my least favorite scene in this movie.
Oh yeah, I can't believe you have a least favorite scene like that.
You
must have.
It was so fast that I got this. I just had this instant hate on for this one scene, which is the scene where, okay, there's like, they get to the house, the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, a retirement home place.
Yes. Okay, have you ever seen?
I watched it all the time as a kid.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Oh, really?
No, never heard of it. So did you see parallels with this and that? Because isn't the main character blue in that one?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to get...
Okay, cool. We'll come back to that. You talk about your least favorite scene.
No, I need to talk about that.
Okay, we're stopping.
There is one massive piece of media about imaginary friends. It is Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. How do you take the same name for your, well, I should say, the blue in what we saw is not the same, like, the blue that we saw in IF and IF is like kind of a side character, but like a main side character.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I've seen this show. I just didn't know that was the name of it.
Blue is the main character in Foster's, and like,
is it the main imaginary guy
friend.
Or is it this little blue guy?
It's the blue guy.
Okay.
So it's like there's a giant purple guy in Foster's Home, and there's a character named Blue.
And they're not the same.
Yeah.
I see.
That is just like, you guys can be better.
Yeah, a little bit.
Why didn't you just
I thought
call
it was
him Red?
kind of funny that
I liked the reasoning. For
yeah,
the name.
I liked that it was
great.
because like the kid was colorblind, and I think that's really
that
funny.
was funny.
Yeah,
but like, just name him Red. Don't name him Blue. Okay. My least
favorite scene.
We're building the scene where they do the dance number.
Oh yeah, no.
So
I mean, no, as in I agree.
And this is like, just to give the biggest example, in my opinion, but to give a reason why I thought this movie had no payoff is there was just stuff trying to happen, and you're like, why? Why? The dancing part, they just get up on stage and they all start dancing together.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds is kind of confused why he's there.
Yeah, and we have seen this in movies before, of like the male protagonist being confused why there's a dancing number.
Sure.
Have you ever seen Enchanted?
No.
We shall watch Enchanted and you will understand what I'm comparing it to.
I feel like I don't know if I've ever seen movies where the male character's like that, but I don't feel like it made sense.
It was weird.
He was confused and he's like, what's going on? And then everyone just gets up and starts dancing.
Yeah, and he
just kind of like left.
I thought it was like kind of cool the way they, like before the dance number started, the way he was going, like he came out of the painting.
I liked that.
And like the setting was changing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
I thought that was really...
And I was like, okay, here we go. Now the movie's getting into wonderment and amazement.
Oh my God, I was pumped. I was like, yes, okay, we're shaky start.
Yeah, we're here now.
Yeah. And it just like, if it kept devolving, and then maybe, because that whole sequence seemed about him.
Yeah, it was a cool sequence. That was also a moment too where I was like, who the frick is the main character in this?
Right.
I was like, who is the main character?
That was really cool. Like all the tiles are changing, and when he goes into the beach,
yeah,
like
he goes into the water, and then he starts, and I was like, he's gonna hit the floor, I think. And then he... Yes, that was really imaginative.
It was really creative. Yeah. And that might have actually been my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh, that's tough because they're right next to each other.
I know. And then it leads to the concert.
Yeah.
And I think what needed to happen there is him doing something.
Yes, he kind of just got carried around.
Like, what if instead he had like started breaking out in dance?
What if?
Nice.
Thanks.
Like, that could have been a moment of character development for him.
Yes.
But instead, the girl just starts dancing, and it's like, is this her shedding off her?
She was a bad dancer.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. Sorry.
Damn, shots.
I listened to a podcast, a couple, and Sarah Shower is the co-host in a few of them, and she always says that she hates movies with kids in them. And there's just something weird about it. She's like, I just think I hate them. Like, she hates the Parent Trap, everything. I don't hate the Parent Trap, but I kept thinking about that because I'm sorry, but the main character kid was driving me crazy. I was like, please, for the love of God, just give us something else. Give us.
She kind of had like perfect child syndrome.
Yeah.
You know?
And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Not perfect child syndrome, but like what it means to be a child in childhood and all that.
True.
Jazz. But yeah, for me about that scene was I was focused on the choreography because in the beginning of the movie, when they're bringing up names, I noted that the choreography was by Mandy Moore. And if anyone here has watched So You Think You Can Dance... You haven't. One of the judges / choreographers on that show was Mandy Moore. So I was like, oh my gosh, cool. I used to love the dances by Mandy Moore. So I was like really focused on like, I don't know how they were dancing. And I wasn't really listening to the lyrics, which I guess so forgettable. So like, I don't know what the song went like. I don't know what it was about.
I feel like there was like one song in this whole movie. Did the kids sing? No, she just kind of danced, and then it was just kind of like, and we're done. We're leaving.
And we're done. We're just sitting now.
What was that?
Now we're at bingo.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was a
lot of potential in that scene.
It was just like making stuff happen, but there was no payoff. There was no like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is all bottled up and not a clown, and okay, the wonderment.
Spoilers. Just kidding.
Yeah, he's a clown.
That's funny to say because it's Ryan Reynolds. He's kind of a clown. Yeah.
I did like that end scene where he like comes back and he's in his.
Yeah, and he gives her a balloon animal.
I thought that was like.
Or a balloon flower.
That's what they were going for in every, heartfelt moment in the movie. And that was the only time it actually hit.
That was the only time I felt it.
That redeemed it, I will say. Like, my rating for this as I was going through the movie was like, ooh. And that pulled it back out of a very bad score.
That should be our opening song.
We can auto-tune that.
Yeah, I like, just speaking of the tone of the film, I did not understand who the intended audience was. It didn't feel like a kid's movie. It didn't feel like an adult movie. It was not a preteen movie. Only Twilight is a preteen movie. Yeah, I don't know. And you noted that there was one scene where kids laughed.
One scene in the whole movie that the audience that we were with had a real like
belly laugh.
We've seen a lot of movies, and when it's a kids movie, there's a lot of times at the theater where the whole audience is laughing.
Kids be
especially
laughing.
the kids.
Yeah.
This movie got the kids laughing once, and it was when Blue, the big purple guy, Grimace ass MF, he wasn't allowed to say if. She was like, don't say if.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, yeah. That was kind of funny. And listen, it got the kids laughing, so it objectively was funny.
Yeah, it was for the kids. And like, that's a really big hallmark of a kid's movie, where it makes the kids laugh and the adults are kind of like
at least it makes the kids laugh.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're on a crappy roller coaster and you're like looking around at the kids like, well, this is the best time of their lives. I guess I'll enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
But they just weren't laughing. And then there was that one time where the grandma was, right before she danced, she said, nobody wants to see an old lady dance. And we just hear this kid behind us, yes, we do. And I was like, oh.
That was really wholesome.
It was really cute. I was like, yeah, you're right.
But
we do.
You're so right, though, that if it was trying to be a kid's movie, it was way too serious.
It was way too serious and slow.
So slow.
So the pacing was quite slow. And even a kid with the best attention span, I think, would struggle watching it and keeping up with it, fully understanding it. Children's movies deal with adult themes all the time. But this one, I didn't get that. I wasn't convinced that she was struggling with like, I'm not a kid anymore. That was giving like, you are not an angsty teen. Your pants have suspenders.
It was like,
your pants have suspenders.
Dude, snaps.
Like, dude, what are you trying?
Yes.
Anyway, we'll talk.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that.
Oh my God. And that's so tied into who is this movie for?
Yeah.
Because
let's keep going with this.
Because they say, like, at the end of the movie, she's like, I've had all these walls up and you've been the one that loves me.
Yeah.
But this is no angsty teen.
No.
You're so right. Suspenders.
I'm like, what walls? Where are the walls?
Her walls were like a 1.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
There was no like, F you, Dad. I hate it here. I hope you die.
Well, she was only, no, you know what? I kind of had that a little bit at 12. You know what she didn't have, and you could tell? She was not allowed to go on Tumblr on the internet. That's what was missing. If she was allowed to go on MSN and Omegle and Tumblr, she would have been way more angsty. But and that's fine, because no 12-year-old should be doing that.
You're right.
And
12 was a very specific age, because 13 is like teenager puberty.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, I'm not there yet. I'm just on the cusp. I'm 12. I've just finished being a kid.
Yeah.
But again, it was just so flat of like, my walls. It's like,
every time.
Dude, no,
there
wasn't a lot of walls.
Or like every time she said, I'm not a kid. I was like, I'm actually going to bang my head against the wall. And the dad being like people kept saying like, you need to stop. And he was like, I never will. And I was like, oh, please shut up.
He was.
It's too obvious.
We are haters. Like, we love to hate things when it deserves it.
I do.
We love to hate things that deserve hate.
I do.
We do not hate the world. We're quite happy people, but there's something fun about being like, that's bad.
I know, literally just in my brain, I was just like, shut up.
And I think we both hate a naive optimist.
Yeah.
I'm quite an optimist, but I'm a very realistic one. Yeah. I like to think anyway.
Sure. We're going to let him believe.
But man, I was like, this is the most annoying character.
No, it really sucks because what they were trying, like the message they were going for is obviously this kid went through something really traumatic. Like she lost her mom.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult. I think they were at that place in New York with her grandmother when her mom was in the hospital.
Oh,
because I was like, did they
sense.
just leave everything there and move away? Like, why is all of her stuff still here if they moved?
Didn't make that connection.
And,
but that
her grandmother was like, I don't think anything moved since you were here last. And I'm like, did they sell it? Of course things moved.
Okay, Grandma, we get it. You've got a 3-bedroom apartment in New York.
It was beautiful.
It was a nice
loved
apartment.
That house.
Yeah.
Or apartment.
That was New York, right?
Yeah, they were in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they went to Coney Island, so yeah.
Of course, Coney Islands.
Yeah, that part confused me a little bit, but there was so much potential here for the message, and I thought it was really wholesome that it's like, even the adults need their imaginary friends.
I loved that.
Yeah, I really liked that.
That like almost like it almost felt like a post-credit scene where all the adults were finding.
It did.
I loved that
We
scene.
should have had some what's the word? Not post-credit scene, but bloopers. I love bloopers with cartoony type stuff because you're like, they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
But it wasn't funny enough.
I think they managed with those last two scenes. Yeah. The clown, him like giving her the balloon.
And the man with blue right before, like.
That was nice.
It was nice.
Yes, that was nice.
Like he was like, okay, I got this because like obviously kids aren't going to get this part. But when like you become an adult, you think like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, adults are never scared of anything, blah, 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 blah. And then you become an adult and you're like, every single meeting is scary. Every time I have to talk to a boss or like give a presentation, I am scared.
I know.
Even when you're an adult.
I was like empathizing so hard with him.
Totally.
Or maybe sympathizing. I just felt so bad for him.
Yeah, you're more of a sympathizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sympathizer. Actually, that is a movie.
You would have
I'm
the Punisher,
empathizer.
the sympathizer.
No, there is a show or a movie.
Okay.
Promise.
I believe you. Just sounds like a lame superhero.
Yeah.
Anyway, what next? Where do we go from here?
Well, before we realized your mic was turned off, I have a couple scenes that I made Patrick laugh super hard in the theater.
Yeah.
So
you were cracking great jokes.
So one of the rules we try to abide by is not talking to each other until we get here. But there's just some things in the moment where you have to be like, dude.
Yeah.
So they're like the less funny one was like near the end where Cal was like bippity bopping up the stairs and I was like, okay, Joker. Like, haha. Unfortunately, anytime anyone dances up or downstairs in New York, I'm gonna think of the Joker, like Joaquin Phoenix is. But yeah, so she was talking to Louis the bear on the bench, staring at the ocean, and he looked at her. His eyes were so red. I was like, dude is blazing it.
They were like, his eyes were like bleeding
so
red.
Shot red.
Like,
I was
not like that person is really high. Like, you have a medical condition, bro.
Like, Snoop Dogg's being put to shame right now.
And it was
he
like,
was torn.
And it was supposed to be like this, so like, oh,
wholesome,
it's
like,
what's in
close
here,
your
kid.
eyes. Think about the smells, the sounds, blah, blah, blah. And I lean into Pat and I'm like, this guy's high as a kite.
Oh, man. And not even with you joking, that was a bad scene.
Why?
It was another example of trying to be sentimental for no payoff. What that scene needed beforehand is her having like issues. There was no challenge that the main character faced.
Her mom died.
Yes,
and her dad was in the hospital.
Okay, her mom died, but she just seemed over it.
Yeah,
she was so over the fact that her mom died.
She was so clearly not over it.
I know, but like, I think
No,
what we
I know
needed
what you
is
mean.
before him giving her this comforting speech,
Yeah.
we needed like a moment of
I needed her to
being
freak
sad.
out a little bit. I needed to see her like bawling in bed
Yeah.
or like throwing something against the wall in frustration. But it's tough because some people do deal with things by just shutting off.
Right. So, yes, she's being shut off to her dad, but maybe privately, exactly. A scene of her crying or something.
Just some.
Because, like, you know, of her low, and then he gives her this, like, wise bear advice.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of came out of the blue. Like, he just old high grandpa just kind of spouting facts.
I was about to.
And
that's what old high grandpas do.
And he was right. It was nice, but there was just like, okay, there's no pay. I think it's payoff.
Yeah, no,
there's no
it was
payoff
lacking
to the scenes.
I absolutely agree. I just am defending. I'm the people's defender because I want you to know that if you shut down when you go through something, that's okay. You don't have to throw things against the wall. But if someone's taping you and you're in a movie, could you give us a little more? Could you cry? Could you sob? Could you claw at the wall? Punch a hole in the wall. Chad?
I have a note here.
Oh my God, he has a note.
And I describe this movie as a sequence of events lacking direction.
Nice.
I felt like this movie was just
that's
things happening.
He's
I didn't know what our
criticism.
goal was.
Nope.
There wasn't a whole lot of her being worried about her dad.
She never seemed concerned.
Like here's some
Ever.
flowers, bye. Got my job.
Okay, flowers are expensive. Where was she getting money? Where was she getting money? That's one thing.
It was just stuff happening.
And like she sees a really cute imaginary friend, but like if I saw something like that, I'd be like, I'm gonna freak out now. The kid needed to freak out. She needed
fainted,
to freak
right?
out. Oh, she fainted.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
But then she just starts traveling around with this man.
And it was like, okay, if this man is not an imaginary friend, this movie is weird.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, no one's concerned for this.
Ryan Reynolds is sneaking into a child's house.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Ryan, get out of there.
Yeah.
You don't belong
I think
there.
it was pretty obvious by like, I don't know, like, okay, this guy can see all the imaginary friends.
Yes, and nobody else, no adult talks to him.
Yeah.
No,
yes.
you see nobody else talking to him.
Yeah.
What else? She pulls the bookmark out of her dad's book or the Pride and Prejudice book, whoever's reading that, and there's a clown on it. And then the bear says, you know, he used to be a clown. And I was like, oh. And then he says something like, and his sole purpose used to be to entertain you.
Oh, no, it's to make you smile.
Make you smile. And he was holding something that said smile. And I was like, that's her imaginary friend.
Yeah.
That's totally her imaginary friend.
And
which I thought was kind of fun. If you were a kid, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, but she doesn't realize it to the very end.
No, she doesn't realize it to the very end.
Dumb.
Idiot. One other thing about Ryan Reynolds too is that like I struggle hearing him as not Deadpool. Like I feel like he's the same person in every movie.
Okay, we kind of talked about this at the start because I was like, I sometimes struggle with our Ryans. So I go to Liv at the start. I'm like, Ryan Gosling is crazy, dumb, blind, stupid love.
No, crazy, stupid love.
Crazy, but that's Gosling.
Yes, he like leans in like Ryan Gosling is crazy, stupid love, right?
And then
yes. And Ken.
Yes, and The Big Short.
Ugh.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And then Reynolds is Detective Pikachu and Deadpool.
Yeah, and I was like, and Reynolds is Deadpool. That's who's in this movie.
Actually, I saw a really good take that like completely lines up with what you kind of just said.
Yeah, that he's just Ryan Reynolds in every movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what this person said was that the way Ryan Reynolds plays comedies is as though he is in a comedy.
Yes.
And the way that Ryan Gosling plays comedies is a drama. So he is reacting to what is happening to him, and it is funny because of him taking it seriously. I think Ken is a perfect example of that.
That's a good take for the Ryans.
Because it's the way Ken is funny.
Yeah. Because he's taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
I think Reynolds is amazing
I think
at
he's
Deadpool.
so funny.
He is so funny at Deadpool.
And if you watch Ryan Reynolds movies before Deadpool, it's different. Like Deadpool changed him as an actor. It is different. Like I'm thinking of The Proposal, There's another one that he's in, but I've seen The Proposal like 9 million times. And he just seems like, obviously he's younger. He just seems a little bit more genuine, but now I feel like every movie he's in, he's just bringing out Deadpool. And he was really successful with Deadpool. So I understand. Like, if a prof said, this is a great sentence in an essay, I was using that sentence in every single paper after that. Like, it does. It makes sense.
And maybe they're like, we want Deadpool vibe Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, this is a hit. The studio's like, we want more of it.
Yeah. And there were moments, where he tears up and he's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were these like genuine moments, but
So yeah, overall, how did you think his performance was?
I always enjoy him. I think he's funny.
Right.
However, I think it would have been fun to have someone different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who perhaps? Anyone?
I don't know. Like, what if John and Ryan switched roles? What if Ryan Reynolds was the dad and John Krasinski was the imaginary friend? Maybe.
Perhaps.
Like, I don't know. I don't have someone at the top of my head. What if it was like a new person?
Totally.
Like.
Yeah, this was definitely like, we're going for that star-studded cast.
Oh, yeah, there was a star-studded cast, which annoys me a little bit because I'm like, oh, what is the point of this then? It just feels like we need money.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if it's a kid's movie, kids don't care.
It's true.
Kids don't care who's voicing. Except maybe like you can say like, oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's doing this. He's the You're Welcome guy from Moana. Like,
I do think like when the character isn't playing a unique role, I really so like if again with like Ryan Reynolds, just kind of similar to Deadpool, or Rock just plays The Rock in every movie.
Yeah, he does.
Like, to me, that's tough because I just see them as their most iconic character.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I know that, no, totally. And like, depending on when you've seen it. So I only see Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow.
Oh.
He's had so many good roles.
Okay.
Not that I agree with the man himself, but.
Right. Well,
he's done some problematic stuff, but I really just see him as Jack Sparrow.
I see John Krasinski as Jim. That's my big one. And that sucks for John Krasinski.
Steve Carell was Blue.
Yeah. Actually, I do kind of want to talk about him.
Okay, let's talk about Blue in a second.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Way too ahead of myself.
Yeah, no, but because there's such a plan. But I totally agree with, like, when they have the iconic characters, if they're not playing another iconic character, it's hard to really take them out of that one that they played. Yeah. Like Depp and Jack Sparrow, or Jim with The Office.
Yeah.
I also hate the title of this movie. I hate the title If.
Yeah.
I don't think it rolls off the tongue well. If. It might be our accents, but I don't like it. I had to say it. Had to say it.
That's fair.
So moving into the imaginary friends, I think we should talk about the imaginary friends now.
I think so. They're an important part of this movie.
They're an integral cog in this machine.
I want to start with Blue.
That makes sense.
Because you just mentioned Steve Carell. Okay, also, just side note, it's tragic that Jim and Steve Carell, sorry, John Krasinski and Steve, is it Carell?
I don't know. That's
Carell,
what I say.
Steve
I say Carell.
It's tragic that they never have an interaction.
True.
It's probably for the best, because that would have been so weird. I actually thought that this was a pretty weak performance from Steve Carell. And let me back this up. Let me say some things.
Because I was clearly coming from the attack.
I thought that this voice acting role, I think he played it really safe and boring. I think all the lines that he delivered really well. It was just the lines themselves. There was not a lot for him to do. I don't know if this is then a fault of the writers, but his dialogue was very boring, and he really was supposed to be the main comedic relief of this movie.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of not doing it.
He wasn't really that funny.
No.
I completely agree with you. I also...
Okay. I wasn't sure as like, what if she loved Blue?
No, I'm a sucker for a fluffy character, like Sully from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I love it. I read somewhere that like they were watching it and they were like, why does Blue sound like Gru from Despicable Me? And I thought that was funny. And then I watched the movie and I was like, what world was Steve Carell using his Gru accent
Not
in this.
even close.
Not even a little bit.
And
not even a little bit. So that person, wherever you are, you're stupid.
It's like, it sounds like Steve Carell, so he's...
Yeah.
That person is
I'm
so
like, yep,
dumb.
it's going to sound a little bit like Gru because it's the same person, but it didn't... Like, comparing Gru and Blue, totally different ends of the spectrum.
Oh my God.
Where Gru is like top grade voice acting.
Yeah.
Blue is playing it safe.
Goat. Gru is goat status characters.
Girls.
Oh my God. And that's a great example of a kids movie that we love.
Oh my God. Despicable Me is so
Me.
funny and it deals with really mature themes.
Yeah. And
it's hilarious.
And Gru is amazing.
Hilarious.
But Blue is just so boring.
Yeah.
I saw a crazy take and it blew my mind.
I need it. What is it? Feed us.
Okay. Someone said this movie, if it was made in the 80s,
whoa,
Robin Williams would have played Blue and crushed it. Right?
Oh my God.
Right?
That was meant for him.
It was meant for him, which is so tragic.
Oh, that is tragic.
Kind of warms my heart.
Yeah, I wish Blue would have been a little sassy.
Yeah.
A little, I don't know, like, I wish there was more banter between him and Cal, like Ryan Reynolds. I wish there was a little bit more back and forth because he was kind of just this like stupid, derpy, croissant loving.
Not even enough derp.
No.
Okay.
Turn up the derp.
You have opened my eyes to the masterpiece that is Robin Williams in Aladdin.
Oh, yes.
The masterpiece.
One day I turned on Aladdin and I was like, Pat, you need to pay attention to this song. Like, Robin Williams is at his best with the genie. And Pat was locked in. He was like, without Robin Williams, this movie would have flopped.
Dude, he is that movie.
Yeah.
And I did watch it as a kid, but to go back at like 27 and be like,
holds up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Better at 27.
Totally.
Could you imagine if it was Robin Williams just throwing in those zingers?
Yeah.
Just
ad lib.
Yeah.
Little singers with his little voices like or something.
Man, we need to watch that movie. I need to palate cleanse.
That's what we'll watch tonight. And we'll imagine Blue as Robin Williams.
It's sad, man.
We'll get on Lewis's level and we'll watch Aladdin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
Now we know what we're doing tonight. Yay.
Oh man.
We live together, by the way. Okay, more on Blue. I also read somewhere that like people were criticizing like, why is it purple if his name's Blue? It's just so dumb. Just like make it blue. Or like, why did it have to look like that? There was a couple things. And back to my marketing extraordinaireness and my knowledge of working with kids, making the main imaginary friend look like that is great for marketing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can sell those stuffies way easier than like the green blob.
Absolutely.
Or the invisible.
Oh yeah, big fluffy guy, definitely.
Yes.
Our thumbnail is going to have Blue in it because he's the most distinguishable character.
Yeah, and I think the colorblind comment was funny, but purple is also an extremely marketable color to boys and girls.
Nice.
I know we're trying to break that. And like, you know, I am a believer that like boys can play with pink toys, girls can play with blue toys, whatever. But
it's the intermediate.
It is. It's the middle. Purple is the middle. You know, a lot of the kids I work with, their favorite colors are purple. And it's like almost every kid.
Purple
is just a great color. Kids love purple, and I totally get why they went with it. Because people were like, I'm like, okay, clearly you've never spoken to a child. Because purple is smart.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, good marketing.
Yeah.
But he just
but not
needed
super
a little
great,
more.
But like, you know, like even that little store at the front had little blue stuffies.
Yes.
And I was like, that looks like a great thing to hug.
Yeah.
Genius.
What if Dave Bautista played Blue and he did like a Drax?
Okay, that would have been smarter. We needed to just go with like a tone and we needed to amp it up by 100. We needed to turn, what's that meme of the guy turning the volume up and the kid's like,
I love that.
Yeah. We needed to pick something and we needed to turn it the heck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Okay.
you have anything else about the imaginary
Well, the
friends?
rest of them. Oh, I have a fun question.
Okay.
What was your favorite imaginary friend? Who was your favorite?
Okay. I really liked the flower, like the sunflower. I forget his name. Riz and Drip. That's what I'm going to call him.
Riz and Drip.
Riz and Drip. But I did really like the kind of like Minnie Mouse looking. I really liked
the
Blossom.
dancer. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I was like, I loved that it was the grandmas because it looks like a little bit of what Minnie Mouse used to look like in Disney.
The old eyes.
Yes, the old eyes, the like faded colors. I thought that was smart.
Man,
Phoebe Waller-Bridge voiced her. She's the woman from the new Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And I'm a huge fan of her, even though I haven't watched the show she did because I can't have that on my psyche. But
I actually I didn't. That's something I didn't notice. Like, it must be an old imaginary friend because of the eyes.
I didn't notice either.
I thought that was a really good character overall.
Yeah, I thought she was really fun.
You really liked that moment with the dance.
And I don't know, like I liked the little, like we see her, she's in a tutu and she's stretching in her ballet shoes. And I was like, well, that's really cute.
Yeah. It was nice at the end too when she's like the grandma's waving by and she's like, all right, ready to go in?
Oh, yeah. And she's like, and I'm like, okay, we need a side story of that.
I loved, I actually like, that was my favorite. That was a better character development than anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. The grandma drove me crazy. I'm like, you should not be taking care of a child. But I thought her story was
Nana
really
can't
wholesome.
make pancakes.
Right?
That's not a trope. It's the dad can't make pancakes. Nana's got it taken care of. Come on.
Nanas are supposed to feed you every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you must be hungry again.
Yeah. You know what, though? I feel like we're diving way too far into the trope of like, the incompetent man. You know? So maybe it's good.
Yeah.
Maybe the incompetent Nana is.
I didn't mind. It was just like.
No, I'm just.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She was drove, but I did really like her. Well, I used to dance and that part of the movie was very special for me. And we'll get into a little bit of why in a moment. Do you have anything else to say? We're going to keep talking about imaginary friends, but I have a couple questions for you.
Is it who was my favorite imaginary friend?
Well, yeah, you should answer that. That was your question.
Oh,
you should
I would
answer
love
it.
to. Thank you. That's
Patrick,
a great question.
Which one was your favorite imaginary friend?
I liked the unicorn.
Oh my gosh, the unicorn.
I don't know. I just thought the unicorn
Allie?
was cute. Yeah, Uni
and Allie was her
Yes.
kid. Yes, Uni. She named me Uni, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's really hot in here." And I'm like, "Girlfriend, I love you."
Yeah,
yeah, she was really cute, and it was so funny that Keith was an invisible imaginary friend that had no lines, and in the end credits it says introducing Brad Pitt as Keith. I was cracking up.
Okay, so Brad Pitt is in a Deadpool movie, an Invisible, I think.
Holy crap.
There's definitely another movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool 2?
It might be Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah, and he flies into the...
There's so many weird instances of Brad Pitt being in movies for like 1 second.
Yeah, that's
or
really
not
funny.
having any lines at all.
I thought you were about to like list movies that he's in, and I'm like, don't look at me.
Dude, there's another movie where like Brad Pitt is like flying in the air and you see him for like 1 second. There's another movie where Brad Pitt is talking about butt wipes, using baby wipes to poop,
oh my gosh.
like to wipe his butt. There's so many weird instances of Brad Pitt just kind of
Happy Feet to Megamind.
No. Like maybe Brad Pitt's in like Interstellar for like 1 second or something. I don't know. Crazy that he's in it. When the astronaut talked, we thought it was Brad Pitt, but it was George Clooney.
Yeah.
There's like one scene with this astronaut chatting, and that was
Pat was like,
fun.
"Who is that? I know."
I know that voice.
He's in the Ocean's movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot with George Clooney because I'm not really into those movies.
Yeah. Brad Pitt and
he is
George
like
Clooney.
a masculinity man.
Oh, George Clooney is like.
He is like.
Oh yeah.
Like if I just feel like he oozes that.
Yes. But he actually pulls it off.
It's true. And you can tell that like he's acting like he's in that new Nespresso commercial, and like it's alluded to that he lives with a dude because they're trying to make Nespresso in the morning. And I'm like, truck yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like
woke.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know what you mean though. He's like a masculine, but it's not like it's not like YouTube how to be alpha male.
Yeah.
That's not him. He's just it's just who he is.
That's what we're going to slowly turn this into, actually.
A dissection of George Clooney and masculinity.
No. This is going to become an alpha male
is
podcast.
that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm trying to grow my beard.
Okay.
So, Patrick, here's my question for you.
Ooh, let's go.
Did you have an imaginary friend growing up?
I did.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because you were kind of an only child, so I figured you did.
Yeah, my imaginary friend was just like a girl my age.
Oh, did she have a name?
I think it was Lucy.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, she came from the toilet one day.
Oh my God, Lucy. Lucky.
I think I must have wanted a sister.
Cute.
Yeah.
That's fun. Because you're always like, I'd have a daughter.
It's
like you just want another woman in your life.
Well, I have 2 older brothers.
Yeah, half brothers.
Hey, that doesn't matter. We're full at heart.
I say half brothers because I think it's funny that Patrick is both a youngest sibling and an only child.
Yeah.
It's like,
and they say don't date either.
Then they tell women, don't date younger siblings. Don't date only siblings. And I'm over here like, what if you put 2 of them together?
It's like a negative and negative makes positive.
It's funny. It's funny.
Yes. So yeah, I had, again, it's not really so much that I have half brothers. It's that I have like significantly older brothers.
That's true. So, also, like even if they lived with you full time, they're like almost 2 generations older.
Yes.
Arguably.
Like by the time I was 8, I was living by myself.
Right.
And even before 8, they were only over like weekends.
So sorry, I keep hitting
okay.
the mic.
So weekends and like occasionally through the week.
Right.
So yeah, I basically was an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And
so it makes sense why you would develop an imaginary friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting though that it was a girl.
Lucy.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to her now. Maybe you'll feel her someday and you'll make her glow again.
Yeah.
We're making her glow right now.
We are. She's here.
We're going to have to draw her.
Well, if you are here, Lucy, hello. Did you?
No.
Because you had a sister.
I did have a sister. However, I wanted to note, and this is also funny, I'm going to read something from an article I wrote. I mean, oh my God, I did not write it. I read it in Psychology Today.
That's called plagiarism.
I wrote it. I didn't have a imaginary friend, but I talked to inanimate objects all the time. If I was playing outside by myself, the trees became my friends.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of still do that.
Yeah, you're like, oh, hello.
And I still have a baby blanket who I very much am like, if someone else touches it, I'm like, you're going to hurt it. You're not going to hurt it. But I feel like you are. Anyway, here's what the quote says, and I think it's kind of funny. Children who create a friend out of a personified object tend to have a parent-like relationship with their special friend. Whereas children with invisible friends tend to imagine an egalitarian relationship, more like a real friend. And I read that and I was like, ooh, I've been bossy since I came out of the womb. Because I'd be like, no, tree, come on. And,
wow.
But you created like an equal.
Totally an equal.
Yeah.
A friend equal.
And I mean, I'm an older sister, so.
So what you're saying is you are a dictator.
I am. Bow to me.
Yeah, you do have that a bit going on.
Bow to me. Please don't bow to me.
I won't bow to you. Yeah. So
yeah, and I thought that was interesting.
I like that.
And
that
I
is
liked,
really cool.
And I like that the article said invisible friends. I just thought that was cool. Instead of calling it an imaginary friend, it was invisible friends.
That's cute.
Which is still if.
Yeah.
The same article also suggests, because I think sometimes people are like, well, kids who are kind of going through it develop imaginary friends. Like I've heard that before. And the only person I know who had one was my cousin, and his was named Clementine. I'm imagining it was a Clementine. It probably wasn't. But the same article also suggests that it is extremely healthy to create what they call invisible friends.
Nice.
And it's more common for healthy kids to do so because they're more social. They're not as isolated. They're not isolating themselves. They're comfortable having friends around all the time.
Oh.
And of course, it can also show incredible coping skills.
Nice.
Because as we see in the movie, B... Actually, no, she does the opposite.
No.
She turns it away when her mom dies. No, but she
uses...
She can see them again because her dad is sick.
Yeah, so she does use it to cope. Absolutely.
Yeah, it shows really good coping mechanisms and stuff like that. Not saying that kids who don't have them, it's the opposite. I don't have a kid. I'm not a scientist. I don't actually know, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. One thing like with the whole coping bit is I actually thought they did a good job of the weight of the dad's illness. Like I think he just had surgery and it was just kind of a hard surgery.
Yeah, I thought it was so cheesy that he had a broken heart, but like it wasn't like, oh, the dad's dying now.
Yeah, and when he was there, it was like, dude, he's not dead. He just went through surgery and he's probably tired. But for a kid, it was like for him, like it. She
and the grandma was like, "Get your stuff," and I was like, "Oh God, Nana."
Oh well, yeah, Nana kind of freaked out, but that's maybe realistic too.
Yeah, was it her kid? Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, I liked that, and that actually leads me to my next point. Okay. We'll start. This is a bit of the review talk. We'll start talking about the reviews a little bit that we saw.
Letterbox.
But a lot of the reviews I read that I have a huge issue with is that they always come from an adult perspective.
Yeah.
Even for kids' movies. Like, they're like, why would you? Like, a big issue with a lot of the reviews was the randomness of the movie. And we talked a little bit about that. It wasn't super cohesive, but at the same time, if it's a kid's movie, randomness makes sense. If you spend any time around a kid, they are so random. So, like, you do not know what's going to come out next. So a bit of randomness makes sense.
So maybe I was being a little bit too adult when I'm saying it's just a bunch of stuff happening.
Right.
But I
agreed with you. I think there was something. We've seen kids' movies. Despicable Me is a kids' movie. The randomness in that is just like the minions doing random crap.
Right. But it shouldn't be like the main plot point or like direction. I just didn't really feel like we were going anywhere.
Yeah. And like it was supposed to go somewhere. I don't know. It just didn't. Anyway, but that is one problem I had with a lot of the reviews. Obviously, I know reviewers are looking at like the writing, the story, and all that stuff, but sometimes you need to like just strip it down a little bit when it's meant for kids, even though it didn't really seem like it was meant for kids.
No.
Not really.
No, it didn't really.
No. You know what other movie actually this reminds me of that I just thought of? Bridge to Terabithia.
I never saw that.
Okay, so amazing movie for all my Bridge to Terabithia fans out there. It's also dealing with like quite mature themes, and I would argue they go into the woods, and Leslie, the girl character, is like, hear the trees speak, like their character speaking to us, and they imagine the school bully as like this really nice troll who they were scared of but is actually really kind, and like they're using imagination to help them understand what's going on in the world. And then the girl dies, and it's really sad.
Oh, wow.
It's so sad. I watched this in school. We read the book, and then we watched the movie, which is a lot. But that was another movie that was for kids, but kind of felt like it was for adults more.
Ooh.
But it was done so much better than this.
Okay, I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah. Like this one was definitely more colorful and fun and floofy.
Yeah, because I guess I could see this movie being like, oh, adults, like, you're still a kid. And I didn't feel that a lot,
But we could have gotten like an adult-y movie about that. And it could have been really funny.
Yeah.
Or like letting Steve Carell just go off.
Yeah.
Like that would have been really funny. What do you think about this being animated? Do you think it would have been a little bit better as an animated movie?
No, I think they did. I liked
medium?
that it was.
Yeah.
Because it just gives such a nice contrast.
Yeah.
It also works because one of the things is that Ryan Reynolds is a human.
He's a human imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read a comment that said like, well, the girl is so lame because her imaginary character was a person.
Oh, I don't think that's lame.
I didn't think so either.
I think a lot of imaginary friends. One kid had an ice cube.
Yeah.
That's lame.
Yeah. I thought it like it also made sense like that he was just kind of regular throughout the movie because she just needed like a regular almost dad figure.
She needed a parental figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And then he was a clown earlier, but I think it was fine.
Yeah.
Do you have should we get to the reviews?
Yeah, I have some reviews. I have some serious ones before we get to the funny ones.
Alrighty.
Yeah, there was one by a man named Johnny Oleksinski. Maybe it's John Krasinski's long-lost cousin. Anyway, from the New York Post, and he did include that Krasinski interprets the endless creative possibilities of one's inner child as an excuse for total randomness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't an excuse.
Here's the thing. The randomness of the child's imagination should play into the plot.
Ooh, that's a great point. You can use the imagination as a tool.
Not just a thing that exists.
Not like almost a separate character.
Yeah.
Like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think it almost reads out it was a character in the movie, but it's like, no, it's not. Nice. Good one.
Thanks.
And the same guy brought up going to Coney Island with an adult and that it was a little bit creepy. And we should always remind children to not follow adults you meet in your apartment building and follow them to Coney Island.
True. This is yeah.
Yeah. We needed to add that. There's one from CNN. If does make the case for finding the fun in life, but in a movie that needs to be more fun than it is.
Whoa.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty
CNN.
good.
That's a good... It's telling you...
I don't have the author's name, but it just said from...
Telling you to be fun, but it's not showing you
But it's
fun.
lacking the fun. I'm like, are we supposed to fill in the blanks here? Yeah.
Oh, man. That actually is going to knock my rating of 10 down just a little bit.
It was 10, but now it's 9.
That's like... No, it's not 10. That's like minus 0.2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we have from Sarah, it didn't say a last name, that this movie was a message about emotions and imagination that might help kids cope with their big feelings during trying times. Agreed. It's a film that celebrates the power of imagination and the specialness of childhood. Also agreed. But then she does a take 2. And she also thinks that it did not go far enough. And the characters' imaginary friends... Oh, yeah, she thought that the imaginary friends were not part of the story enough.
Oh.
Like, she was saying that, like, that was a way it could have made the movie a lot more magical if we were with the imaginary friends way more. And I think so.
Yeah, because a lot of them just kind of existed to, like, for the tryout for that kid in the hospital, and that was it.
It just felt kind of, like, empty. Like, I was like, why is this here? Like, and you can do a montage of, like, random funny characters. We've seen it before. Oh, yeah. But this just felt weird. It just felt so almost try hard.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not cool to be try hard.
No, like you're trying to like force, like you're trying to like, this is about sentimental, but you're not like working to make it sentimental.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's honestly what we thought too. Like I read those and I was like, checks out. Like these seem, who knows if I'll agree, because for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I read a lot of stuff that I disagreed with. So that was nice. But with this, I mostly agreed with everything.
Yeah.
Do you have any reviews you want to talk about before I read some funnies?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds. The faux humble but very real smugness is just too high to tolerate for me.
The faux humble?
Yeah.
Can you explain this a little bit?
I kind of get what that is, where like...
The faux... Isn't faux enemy?
No, like faux fur, like false.
F-A-U-X.
Oh, sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're right. I was reading it.
No.
Yeah, like I kind of see what you mean, where they've both kind of got that like...
It felt so fake.
Yeah.
It did not feel genuine.
Yeah.
It was like a little creepy.
A little bit.
It was edging us with creepiness.
Gonna be a crabby nurse here and say the parts with John in the hospital kind of took me out a bit.
Yeah.
What surgery is he having that he has to just hang around for days prior in his normal street clothes? I actually thought they were gonna make him a psych patient. Whoa.
He was in his normal street clothes. I was like, what are we doing here? Oh, that's such a good point.
Then after surgery, he has no monitoring, oxygen to sell that he was actually in danger. I understand not wanting to scare kids, so obviously having him fully wired up and intubated is out of the question, but come on. And poor Jeanette. This woman seemed to be working 24-hour shifts for the entirety of the stay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the nurse.
Oh, wow. This comment truly, like, I'm a crabby nurse.
I'm a crabby nurse. Oh my gosh,
That's
it's
really
so true.
funny.
Yeah, not.
The movie about storytelling lacked any good storytelling. Just not good.
Oh yeah, that was a, what's the word? Not a trope, but a thread through it, a motif. The storytelling was a motif. And I was like, why does this keep coming up? Also at the end when he was like, that was a good story. I was like, that was one of the worst stories I've ever heard. When she's like, once upon a time there was a kid and the kid was really scared to lose her parent. And I'm like, seriously? This is it? Really?
Yeah.
That's it? That's going to be the end? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like the reviews I'm looking at just don't really love it.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Sure, let's hear it.
Kind of. I have about 4 like funny.
Oh, okay.
ones
I'd
from
love some funny
Letterboxd.
ones.
Yeah. This one's review by Tyler. When your circle's small, but y'all crazy. Because imagine walking down the street and just like seeing people talking to nothing.
Yeah.
But we do. And it's kind of,
bit.
maybe they're just talking to their imaginary friends.
I guess so.
Well, they are.
I mean, yeah.
This was actually a story about schizophrenia.
That would have been such a crazy twist.
That would have made it adult if they did it right.
It could have been done right.
Because there's lots of different forms of schizophrenia.
Mm.
Okay, the next one, review by Dana. I want Ryan Reynolds under my bed.
Nice.
That's so creepy. I was like, why is there a
Super
monster in the
weird.
closet and now under the bed?
See,
Not monster.
I just thought in that moment, I thought what was gonna happen is they're gonna be like, oh, the kids can't see either of them, and it would just be like, he's also an imaginary friend. Here you go.
Right, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Inside Out?
No.
Oh, okay, so this is for all the Inside Out lovers. Patrick probably won't laugh at this, but this is from G! 2 exclamation marks. Rest in peace, Bing Bong. You would have loved this. So Bing Bong is Riley's imaginary character in Inside Out, and he looks like this. I'm going to show Patrick a picture, and in the movie, she forgets about him, and he disappears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is Bing Bong.
Oh, Bing Bong is cute.
Yeah, Bing Bong.
I guess.
Yeah.
He's a character.
Bing Bong, Bing
He's
Bong.
in Fortnite.
It's really sad. My dad cried when Bing Bong disappears. Like it's actually a very
Okay.
heartwarming moment in that movie.
It hits.
That's imaginary friend done right. And it shows like Riley playing with him when she's little. Anyway, so I thought this review was funny. Rest in peace, Bing Bong. You would have loved this.
That's funny.
Yeah. And this one. So have you seen like the memes where it's like, it like says someone's name and then it's like, I've grown quite fond of you over time, although there are no sexual desires. But okay, anyway, someone said that about John Krasinski. Sarah Starr said, John Krasinski, it seems I've grown quite fond of you. Though there are no sexual urges or desires, you come to me as a long-lost friend whom I once picked apples with in Papa's orchard.
Huh. Wow.
I love that meme format.
I do not know that meme format.
Okay, you're not on Twitter as much as me.
No.
But after seeing the movie, I'm like, I don't feel like that about John Krasinski in this movie at all. Like, if anything, it would have been the grandma.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are kind of the funny ones.
Nice.
Yeah, but I really liked when your circle's small, but y'all crazy.
That's great. This gets me excited for the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Oh, me too.
I just want to see Ryan Reynolds let loose like he does with Deadpool.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Like when he has to censor himself, he's just not funny.
It's just like, ugh.
It's just like, maybe we just need to, as a society, understand and acknowledge that Ryan Reynolds doesn't have the range that he wants to have. And that's okay.
I'm definitely, I love him as Deadpool and Detective Pikachu. Also a great movie. One of the only good video game movies, by the way.
I've totally seen it.
It's one of the only good video game movies.
Okay, I believe you.
But I'm definitely team Ryan Gosling. Not that there should be like this.
Oh my
weird
gosh, I
fight,
wasn't even going to take it here.
But Ryan Gosling has the range. Like Ryan Gosling actually,
I love that pause you made. You're just like, this might get me killed.
I like him in like everything he's in.
Ryan Gosling, like that's why we need to see The Fall Guy because
I feel like I won't like him that much in that movie, so I don't want to see it.
I think I will. I think we will.
Actually, I've seen the reviews. We're probably not going to review it because it's already been out for like a month. But I have watched reviews. A lot of people say it's just like fun, easy, like well done. Like it's not memorable, but it's just like a fun movie.
No, and
that's all you can
he's
ask
fun.
For.
And Emily Blunt's in it, which is John Krasinski's wife. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere right now.
So,
what would you give this movie? What are you rating it?
Okay. So I was like hovering in the 3s for most of the movie. It started slow. I was bored. It finally starts picking up. That scene with the painting, I was like,
yeah, when he comes out of that's the coolest part when he comes out of the painting.
Yes. I was like, come on, deliver. Yeah. I'm like 5. It could be a 6. It could be we could go banger. We could maybe hit a 7.
Yeah.
This can be redeemed. And then, I don't know, that dancing scene, I'm just, okay, back to 3, back to 3.
The dancing, I think we should do the dance right back here.
Absolutely not.
I'm going.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep talking. As the movie progresses, it's trying again. The scene with the grandma, I thought that was great. There's some fineness. I'm not there for it. The final scene brings it back to
with the adult?
4.5.
Whoa.
It would have been 4.7, so almost a 5, but
I'm giving it a lower rating than you, I think.
Oh.
And I love it.
Oh, wow. The last scene gave me like a 1 point because it actually hit payoff.
Man, okay. I think I'm just going to give it a 4.
No. Don't let me. What do you really think, Liv?
Sorry for burping. I think I'm just going to give it a 4.
Okay. Because were you going to give it a lower and then you heard mine and you're like, no? Okay.
Nope. When I was watching it, I was like, 6, maybe. Like I'm having fun. But after talking about it and thinking about it more, this is a really forgettable movie.
Yeah.
It's not going to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they have with the kids is going to be selling Blue as a little stuffed animal. It's not memorable enough. I think John Krasinski did a lot better with The Quiet Place, and he should stick with that.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
that is my unprofessional opinion.
Like a 5 is the worst kind of movie because you know what I mean? Like it's boring, and this is like bad boring. So this is almost the worst kind of movie.
Yeah, because there's like just, so bad it's comical.
Yes, like Madam Web. Bad movie, but like kind of great in how bad it is. It's like, what were they thinking?
Morbius.
I've
never
saw
it,
but probably bad.
Probably bad.
This was just like,
yeah, it was. And I like watching the trailer. I had high hopes. Like I was like, this has a lot of potential to be really fun.
The cover itself.
Yeah,
a lot of potential.
I love imagination.
Yeah,
I live in my imagination.
Right. So this is our lowest ranked movie.
This is our lowest so far.
4.0 and a 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe 4.1. No, just 4. Just
give it
4.
A 4. Give it the 4.
Well,
I think there's a case for 3s, but
yeah.
But the ending,
man, go off.
Tell
us what you think. If you're like, guys, come on, this is a 1.
No, like if I was tearing up at the end. I can't like say it was awful because like it obviously did hit something for me.
I cry and everything.
But the journey was just so.
Was the journey worth it? Because the journey matters.
I would never watch it again.
No, I don't.
But if it was on, I wouldn't be like, oh my God. I'd be like, okay, fine.
Also, if there's ever like a really good meme that comes out of it, my rating is going to go up to 4.2.
Dude, there's no meme coming out of this movie.
Well, like the Grimace meme.
No, it's just like, if it was like an awful, if it was butchered, people would be like Walmart Grimace, like Grimace at home, you know? But it's like too, to be a meme, you know?
It's just like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
I'm amazed that we had an hour to talk
I had a lot to say.
I know.
I always have a lot to say. You'll find that about me.
We got Mad Max coming up next.
I was going to give them a hint and let them guess.
But which one could it be?
Oh my God. I was going to say, hope you don't get furious that you have to wait until the next one.
Oh, I sure will.
Hope you don't get furiosa that you have to wait until the next one. I'll kill you. Yeah,
right.
and if you're watching, thank you for watching.
Hell yeah, you made it to the end.
I
The
did
deep
do
end.
I did do a little dance near the end, if that motivates anyone to give it a watch. If you didn't,
Don't
forget to subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment.
And comment.
Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right.
No, we're right. I think everyone agrees.
If you just seriously though, if you really liked it, you gotta tell us.
I gotta know.
And then I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. Okay, bye.